Throughout human history, stories have been the invisible threads weaving together our shared realities. From the earliest days, long before the written word, ancient peoples gathered around fires, telling tales of gods, monsters, and heroes. These myths were more than entertainment. They served as blueprints for living, explanations for the unexplainable, and unifying bonds for entire communities. As centuries passed, the stories evolved, morphing into religious doctrines, national epics, and scientific paradigms. Yet, the power of the collective narrative, the story everyone believes, remains as potent today as it was in the age of the myth-makers. In the 21st century, we inhabit a world saturated not just with information, but with narratives. Headlines flash across screens, hashtags trend, viral videos spread, and opinions crystallize into what feels like universal truths. The line between information and ideology, once clearer, has blurred dramatically. News stories are no longer just reports of events. They are frames for understanding, lenses that color perception, and sometimes battlegrounds for belief. In this digital age, stories don't just describe our world, they actively shape it, sometimes with startling speed and reach. Why do some ideas, even when challenged or debunked, become so deeply woven into the fabric of society that they attain the status of unquestioned truths? The answer lies partly in the architecture of our own minds. Human cognition is both a marvel and a maze. Cognitive biases, subconscious shortcuts developed over millennia, help us process the overwhelming flood of information every day. They allow us to make quick judgments, avoid danger, and navigate complex social environments. But these same shortcuts can also make us susceptible to groupthink. When faced with ambiguity or uncertainty, people naturally look to their peers for cues. If everyone in your community believes a particular narrative, it feels safer, even virtuous, to align yourself with that belief. The comfort of conformity, the sense of belonging to a shared worldview, provides psychological security and a foundation for identity. This desire to belong fuels the formation of belief systems, whether religious, political, or cultural. Once inside, the walls grow higher. Confirmation bias, the tendency to notice, interpret, and remember information that supports our existing beliefs, acts like a filter, screening out discordant evidence. In our digital world, these cognitive tendencies are amplified by technology. Social media platforms designed to maximize engagement create echo chambers that feed us what we want to see, hear, and believe. Each like, share, or retweet reinforces our convictions, making alternative perspectives seem increasingly alien, even threatening. Behind the scenes, social media algorithms act as unseen architects of modern dogma. They are programmed to prioritize content that elicits strong emotional responses: fear, anger, hope, indignation. These emotions fuel sharing and engagement, propelling certain narratives to viral status. In this new landscape, influencers and thought leaders, often charismatic and persuasive, become conduits for collective belief. Their words carry weight not just because of expertise, but because they resonate emotionally and socially, shaping the perceptions of millions in real time. It is not only the content of the narratives, but their emotional resonance that gives them power. Stories tapping into deep-seated fears or hopes spread like wildfire, bypassing rational scrutiny and embedding themselves in the public consciousness. A single tweet, a stirring video, or a heartfelt post can ignite movements, shift public opinion, or entrench divisions seemingly overnight. The ripple effects of unquestioned narratives extend far beyond the confines of social media. They manifest in political polarization, where societies split into rival camps with incompatible realities. They drive consumer trends, as brands align with prevailing narratives to capture loyalty and market share. They even shape policies and laws as legislators respond to the beliefs and pressures of constituents. The challenge for individuals and societies is immense. In a world awash with pre-digested beliefs, where every opinion seems to come with a ready-made tribe, how do we cultivate critical thinking? How do we distinguish between information and ideology, between fact and narrative? The first step is awareness. Recognizing the psychological gravity well, the invisible pull of cognitive biases, is essential. Understanding that our minds are wired to seek safety in numbers and certainty in stories helps us resist the urge to accept collective narratives uncritically. It's not about rejecting all shared beliefs, but about questioning how and why we come to hold them. Cultivating independent thought in a world of shared narratives requires deliberate effort. It means seeking out diverse perspectives, engaging with ideas that challenge our own, and being willing to sit with discomfort. It means reading widely, listening deeply, and asking not just what we believe, but why. In this pursuit, intellectual humility is a crucial virtue. It is the willingness to admit that we might be wrong, that our deeply held convictions are not immune to error, and that learning often begins with questioning ourselves. Building bridges across ideological divides is perhaps the greatest challenge and the greatest necessity of our time. Polarization may seem inevitable, but history shows that dialogue, empathy, and genuine curiosity can overcome even the deepest rifts. When we approach others not as adversaries, but as fellow travelers in search of understanding, new possibilities emerge. Conversations become opportunities for growth, not just for persuasion. The stakes could not be higher. Societies shaped by unquestioned dogmas risk stagnation, division, and loss of freedom. But societies that foster critical inquiry, dialogue, and humility can adapt, innovate, and thrive. The narratives we choose to accept, question, or discard will determine not only the contours of our shared reality, but the future we build together. The journey from ancient myth to modern headline is a journey through the human mind and heart. Stories have always been the currency of meaning, the architecture of identity, the scaffolding of civilization. In every era, the challenge is the same: to recognize the power of collective narratives without becoming their unthinking subjects, to hold beliefs with conviction but also with curiosity, to seek both truth and understanding, even when the path is difficult. In the end, the rise of unquestioned narratives is not merely a story about information or technology. It is a story about us, our hopes and fears, our longing to belong, our capacity for both reason and emotion. It is a story still being written every day in headlines and hashtags, in conversations and communities, in the quiet spaces of our own minds. As we navigate this landscape, let us remember the wisdom of the ancients, who understood that every myth contains both truth and danger. Let us embrace the tools of critical thinking, the courage of independent thought, and the humility to listen, learn, and grow. For in a world of shared narratives, the most important story may be the one we choose to write together, one of openness, understanding, and the relentless pursuit of truth.